Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai.
What if Daniel never competed at the All Valley tournament during the events of the Karate Kid? So in this timeline, the events of the Karate Kid would still happen, Daniel and Johnny would still be enemies, and they would both agree to fight at the All Valley. Johnny and the rest of the Cobra Kais would agree to leave Daniel alone to train, so the events of the Karate Kid would carry on. Johnny would still get Daniel to register for the All Valley, and Daniel would still be afraid of Johnny. Daniel would get training from Mr. Miyagi, and he would start learning defense. The relationship between Daniel and Ellie would grow even more. Daniel and Johnny would both train for the All Valley. In the night of the All Valley, Mr. Miyagi would be ready for the tournament. But in this timeline, Daniel would still be afraid of Johnny, and he wouldn't want to compete. But Mr. Miyagi would tell Daniel that it was okay to lose to an opponent, but that he should never lose to fear. Mr. Miyagi would try helping Daniel, but Daniel would be too afraid, and he would run away. So in this timeline, Daniel wouldn't show up at the All Valley Sports Arena, and he wouldn't compete. And at the All Valley tournament, Johnny and the rest of the Cobra Kais would still advance in their matches. Johnny and the rest of the Cobra Kais would be happy that Daniel didn't show up. Johnny would make it to the finals, and he would be the 3-time All Valley champion. The Cobra Kais would be celebrating. So in this timeline, Johnny would stay in Cobra Kai, and since Daniel didn't show up at the All Valley, it would be open season on Daniel and Mr. Miyagi. And the next time at school, Johnny and the Cobra Kais would jump Daniel, and they would start messing with him for not competing at the All Valley. Daniel would try fighting back, but he would have a difficult time fighting them off. Daniel would go to Mr. Miyagi's house in defeat. Mr. Miyagi would be surprised to see Daniel in this condition. Daniel would say that the Cobra Kais beat him up. Kreese would eventually find out where Mr. Miyagi lived, so he would take the majority of the Cobra Kai students to his house. Kreese would confront Mr. Miyagi, and he would say that he didn't honor their deal, so the Cobra Kais would start destroying Mr. Miyagi's garden. Mr. Miyagi would try to stop them, but Kreese would get in his way. Kreese would say that it was open season on him and Daniel, so Kreese would want to fight Mr. Miyagi, and he would start attacking him. But Mr. Miyagi would fight back, and he would easily defeat Kreese, just like he did in Karate Kid 3. The rest of the Cobra Kai students would be surprised, and they would want to fight Mr. Miyagi. So Mr. Miyagi would fight the entire Cobra Kai dojo. This is when Daniel would show up, and he would see Mr. Miyagi fighting the Cobra Kais. But Johnny would confront Daniel, and he would start fighting him. Johnny and Daniel would fight one-on-one, but Johnny would get the upper hand, and he would start beating up Daniel. Mr. Miyagi would defeat the Cobra Kais, and he would help Daniel, so Mr. Miyagi would take down Johnny. The Cobra Kais would leave in defeat, but Kreese would want to get revenge on Mr. Miyagi and Daniel, so he would still call Terry Silver, and Terry Silver would want to ruin Mr. Miyagi and Daniel's life. Terry Silver would buy the building where Daniel and his mom lived, and he would evict everyone. Daniel and his mom would be forced to move in with Mr. Miyagi. The Cobra Kais would continue to mess with Daniel at school, and eventually Terry Silver would hire some people to burn down Mr. Miyagi's house, so Mr. Miyagi and Daniel would be forced to leave, and they would move away from the valley. Cobra Kai would continue to grow, and Kreese would continue teaching his students the way of the fist. Johnny would continue training at Cobra Kai, and he would eventually be a sensei, and that is where I'm gonna end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Daniel never competed at the All Valley tournament during the events of the Karate Kid? Let me know in the comments below.
YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.